said smile for a thumbnail. I am not able to smile, nor am I gonna smile. This whole side of my lower mouth is and tongue is numb. I guess this is the first time I've had cavities drilled, or that I remembered in my lower mouth. But it was a totally unfun experience. I first asked the doctor some questions about my teeth, and I'm curious because my children and I are having cavities, and how do I prevent that? And I'm working really hard to prevent the cavities, and just curious, and she just totally brushed me off, and was unhappy that I was asking questions, and telling me that she didn't have time to do another cleaning or exam or whatever. She's like, we do those every 6 months. And I was like, wow, I'm so sorry. I didn't say this. I was like, I'm so sorry that my questions are like upsetting you. It's kind of crazy because I don't know anything about dentistry. So we're proceeding, and I'm feeling like the suction is going into the back of my throat, so I'm coughing up a little. And she's just showing no compassion. And she was upset. My jaw was super tight. I have bruxism, which is like jaw clenching, grinding, all that. I think I do it during the day in addition to at night. And I even told her, I said, my jaw feels really tight. And she just was not understanding why I couldn't open so far. And when she did the Novocaine, it seemed like she was really upset that I didn't open wide, and she just told me to open, but not open wide. She's like, all right, I'm gonna have to jam it again. And I was like, okay, cool, you just said that. It's super compassionate. At a time when I'm vulnerable, and I have my mouth open, and now you're drilling my mouth open and just not showing compassion, and you're going super fast, and I'm feeling anxiety, and I don't feel that like a lot. So I started crying, and I just got really emotional because I started thinking about my daughters who have had to go through that, and she showed them the same amount of compassion, and they're friggin' kids. For God's sake, I'm an adult, so maybe I should be able to handle this better. I don't know. I wasn't processing things as fast as she wanted me to. Sorry, folks, we can't speed up our brain processing. It's just how we're wired and how things are going right now. And I'm trying to stay in my prefrontal cortex mode, but you're really putting me in reptilian brain mode right now. So I'm really fighting that and trying to control, my emotions so that I'm not crying, and I'm fully crying. And she just keeps saying, well, I don't know why you're acting like this. I said, I'm not in any pain. You can continue. I'm not in any pain. And then I start getting congested, and it's harder, obviously, to breathe through my nose. And just the the non-compassionate things she was saying just made me started crying even more, because I just started thinking about my daughters and them having cavities and people not being compassionate, and thinking that kids should change, like, because they're uncomfortable, or they're not processing things as fast as you want them to, or maybe they're having anxiety, or maybe they're not understanding, and we're just going way too fast, people. Like, we just need to slow down and just show others compassion. Maybe their brains aren't working perfectly at that moment. It just feels so dehumanizing to have an experience like that. And I just started crying for my daughters and everybody around the world that's mistreated and silenced because they're trying to ask a couple questions, and maybe because they're not processing things super fast. And they're placed in vulnerable positions, and they're feeling silenced. And I was actually able to process in the moment how I was feeling, and how I felt like her treatment of me was. And the ladies at the front desk, receptionists, assistants, not sure who they were super nice, and they saw me crying, and I'm like, I'm not in any pain, everything's okay. And they're just like, well, can you just tell us what happened? And normally I'd have been like, no, I don't want to talk about it, but I was like, no, I'm going to talk directly about this woman's lack of compassion. And right away the assistant was like, well, we're not going to have you like be with this doctor again. And I was like, I think that's best, and can you put in my daughter's charts that we don't want to be with this doctor? I'd seen another doctor. I can't remember if it was a cleaning or a filling. I think he'd cleaned my teeth and filled them, and he just was super compassionate, and he went really, really slow, and he allowed me time to process what was going on. But I also felt like how courageous were my daughters who have sensory processing difficulties. They've been diagnosed, and they were able to get through this. I think they've had bottom cavities filled, and just way to go, girls. You did an awesome job. This is the first time me having cavities on my bottom teeth or remembering what it was like, and it's really difficult, and we need to show each other more compassion and be more understanding and just go slower. And even if you don't understand why somebody's getting emotional, you can acknowledge and say, oh, you're feeling emotional. I'm hoping that you can just become calm, and this is a safe place, and I want you to feel comfortable. And that's all. We should show each other more compassion because we're really needing it. We're really, really needing it.